What? I am sure of it. His heart had a beat again. I do not know how. Haxa looked at Harel, the old lizard who have faced countless monster waves, battling the highest tier of monsters that dare to cross his domain. Not once did Haxa see fear in his face, whether it's facing thousands of death bugs descending upon his abode, or defending his realm on a 75-days siege. His fearless shout and laugh heightened morale to whoever heard it. Haxa took a good look at his uncle, again. He was scared. Samuel, who had been silent with a smirk in his face, answered, yet again in that strange imperial accent. That was a defibrillator. It's a device that produces electricity and could restart someone's heart. Mr. Samuel, I did not detect any magic from it, Harel asked. His eyes were still fully glued to the men bringing the Not corpse toward a white vehicle. The one with bald hair seems to be ordering them. Indeed, it didn't. We are after all magicless before the portals opened. A light chuckle briefly escaped the human mouth. Well, even after it opened, only some of us can manage it, so nothing much changed. A sigh escaped his lips. The device itself was quite common and normal, and is used at all of our hospitals, in almost every nation. Normal? A magicless electrical producing tool that revived the dead is normal? Haxa thought to himself, knowing full well that his uncle was having the same thought. Hearing and seeing things was a different thing. To hear that humans live in a world without magic sounds odd, but to experience itself was something else. Yet there were a strange connection in his mind that began to form. The casual usage of the color black, the strange cemetery, the revival. It all seems to point to. Could human? No. It must be one of their inventions. Perhaps the humans were not fully dead. Haxa coped, before slouching back at his seat, his tail losing its rigidity as he relaxed against the soft chair. The cold breeze from the small vent caused a yawn to escape his mouth. He looked at his uncle, who was still deep in thought, clearly not in a good mood to be bothered. I could sleep with this, he thought to himself. And sleep he did. He woke up later, not knowing how long he had slept, but knowing that his uncle had let out a scream that caused him to jolt up toward the ceiling. They are rising from the grave! Haxa looked outside, and sure enough, multiple humans can be seen clawing their way through from their final abode. Some were already fully on the ground, their cloth tattered, with some having their eyes hanging from its socket. The car was already moving before the two could see more in detail. What was that? Haxa asked, fully awake. They were acting for a show. Zombies. Samuel paused before continuing. Pardon me for asking this, but are there zombies in your world? The two went silent. We have heard of the dead possessing a person from old stories. But never have I heard stories, nor a tale where corpse came clawing up the graves. Harel muttered, hand clutching his head, his tail swishing slowly left and right. Although, I think the ant folk from the Cordis have a story about something similar to the zombies, something about mind control, though it has been a while, so I might misremember, Harel replied, falling to yet another deep thought. Haxa, meanwhile, was in a mild panic. Something was clearly wrong. But what could it be? Pattern. The pattern screamed. You look quite worried, Harel said, still looking at the floor, yet noticing his anxiety. But you have to remember they are different for us. Haxa pondered for a moment, and reluctantly agreed. Harel was right. These weird inconsistencies and coincidences were probably mere cultural differences. Not only were they a new species, they also have a completely different world compared to his. No magic, with only a single sapient species. What was he thinking about those patterns again? Haxa laughed at himself, looking out the window to see that the night had fell, and a bright moon had floated in the sky. There was only one moon, he noticed. It was really a different world. It's night, Samuel said as the car stopped at an intersection, letting the other cars pass through. How do they signal when to pass? Haxa briefly wondered. Here. Samuel gave the two a pair of eye cover. One was clearly designed for the lizard folk eyes. Harel inspected the cover with an amused look. Very thoughtful. I appreciate it, but I can sleep by command. Harel looked down, tapped his feet, and instantly fell asleep. His uncle was really something else, Haxa thought, as he put the eye covering on his head. and soon the car lurched back to speed. Perhaps it was due to the stress earlier on the day, or his empty stomach, but Haxa found it quite difficult to sleep. After a couple of minutes of trying to sleep, and envying his uncle, he gave up. In a mild gust of curiosity, Haxa uncovered the eye cover and looked out the window. Dread. A side of him screamed to shut his eyes off, but curiosity took a hold of him. It's a similar feeling to watching the aftermath of a monster wave attack. Brutal, yet fascinating. Except the sight he was currently seeing is anything but brutal. It was dreadful. Dead. The city in front of him looked as if it came straight out of a grave. He was sure. No, he was fully certain that the humans had managed to revive the city from its grave. There were simply too many coincidences. The more he looked, the more his belief increased. The empty, broken house, the people walking with their heads down, and the general feeling of dread piercing through his fur. The earlier pattern hit him with the force of 1,000 waves. The casual usage of the color black, the weird cemetery, the so-called zombies, the device that could bring the dead back to life. And now, the city, which he was fully convinced to be fully resurrected, blurring before him. Humans can revive the dead, whether it's a person or a city, he was sure. "Sir, are you okay?" Samuel asked, looking from the small mirror. It took Haxa a huge amount of self-control to not cast a thunderbolt and grab the trickster by the hem of his shirt to reveal their dirty secret. "What is this?" A growl and hiss escaped from his mouth. "Oh, you mean the city?" Sam looked at the sight of the dead city in front of him with ease. The sight that will repulse anyone seems to have no effect on him. "We call this city Detroit.